And how do you find these entrepreneurs, and then what's the selection criteria?
Yeah, well, before we move into a country or a city, we are brought in, we're pulled in by the local private sector. So we have the top business leaders and the top family businesses and some self-made people who want to do one thing, which is give back, which is mentor the next generation, but they don't really have a process of finding people outside their familiar circles. So Endeavor's promise to them is we're going to bring our tested methodology for finding the most promising entrepreneurs and then rely on the local board members and network to mentor them along with a global network. So we start locally. We have a local team, a local board. They scour every bank, every a private investor that's turned down all these crazy young people, every university, every incubator if they have one, every radio show that's found some quirky idea, really looking for people who've gotten an idea off the ground, or maybe they're a family business where the next generation has taken over and they could really grow to the next level if they got some help. And we put them through, as I said, about 6 to 12 months of screening locally, and then the local boards and teams recommend finalists for these international selection panels. And so it's like the Olympics of entrepreneurship, where 5 or 6 times a year candidates from 20 countries are now coming, and a jury made up of the top venture capitalists, private investors, CEOs from all these different countries and from the US have to unanimously select the Endeavor entrepreneurs. So once they get that seal of approval, in addition to getting a 3-person advisory board from us and access to a global network and mentorship and leadership training, the investors working in these markets know that this seal matters. So a lot of them are gaining access to capital or to strategic partners as a result. And 20% of our entrepreneurs are people who get rejected and then come back, which is my favorite thing. So in fact, one of my favorite recent stories at Endeavor were these 4 young guys who were living in Buenos Aires, and the peso crashes in the early 2000s, and everyone is saying this is a disaster, and these guys spot an opportunity. They leave their jobs to start a company that's creating software and consultancy, and they start amassing clients like Nike and Disney and Coca-Cola and Google, even though they're based in Argentina, and everyone says this will still never work, you're not really going to do this. And this year, a decade later, they took that company, Globant, public on the New York Stock Exchange. Well, they were rejected at the first Endeavor panel they went to. They were told they were too arrogant. They were told while they were thinking big, they had to have reality back it up. And they spent a year and they proved that they really took this seriously. They went through the process again. And now when they are judges now on the panel, they tell all these people who get rejected, this was the hardest thing, but this was the best thing for us. And that every time, one door gets slammed in your face, you have to look through at the next opportunity, and so now people are coming back. Some of our best companies, not surprisingly maybe, are those who get rejected and come back.